Good morning. This is Debbie Royce, Empire State Development's Corporate Secretary. I'd like to welcome everyone to the meeting this morning. Before we formally begin, I would ask that everyone please mute your lines unless you're speaking. We'll begin today by taking a roll call of the directors to ensure we have a quorum present. If you're on the line, please say present. Howard Zensky.
Present.
Eric Gertler.
Present.
Hilda Rosario Escher.
Present.
Cesar Perales.
Present.
Shauna Ponce.
Present.
Okay. Howard, we have a quorum if you'd like to begin. Thanks so much.
Okay. Thank you, Debbie. Good morning, everyone. I now call to order the meeting of the directors of the New York State Urban Development Corporation, doing business as Empire State Development, for Thursday, June 25th, 2020. Before we get started, I'll ask that everyone please mute their phone. Please mute your phone until you're ready to speak. Also, for the record, I'll ask that anyone wishing to speak, please be sure to state your name before you begin. I'd like to note for the record that due to public health concerns and as authorized by an executive order of the governor, this meeting will be conducted by teleconference. Also note for the record, the public was given the opportunity to comment on the agenda items by submitting their written comments by 4:30 yesterday. There have been no comments received from the public concerning today's agenda items. Directors have received the written materials in advance and are free to ask questions at any time. At this time, I'll ask the directors whether anyone has any potential conflict of interest with respect to any of the items on the agenda. Okay, no conflicts. The first item on today's agenda is the approval of the minutes of the May 21st, 2020 and May 29th, 2020 directors meeting. I'd like to remind everyone to please state your name before speaking. Are there any questions, comments, additions, or deletions? Is there a motion to approve both sets of minutes? Hilda, I heard you. Is there a second?
Approve.
Thank you. Eric, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
None. Okay, great. We're going to move to the report section of our agenda. And Eric, if you would please start things off with your president's report. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Howard. And I also want to thank Debbie. You know, all of this work, doing this telephonically requires a lot more work. And Debbie, you've just done such a stellar job keeping us focused and keeping everything as consistent as possible. So much appreciation to you.
Thank you.
Good morning,
so much.
everyone. I hope everyone is safe and healthy. I can tell you in this report that it's been a very busy last few weeks since our last board meeting. I'm sure many of you saw the governor's poignant sort of quote-unquote final press conference last Friday, but then he did one yesterday. So I guess the one on Friday was really the penultimate press conference, and I'm just saying that because I like to use the word penultimate. You know, it's a good SAT word. But in all seriousness, his conference last Friday really was remarkable and poignant, and I continue to be privileged and honored to be able to support his outstanding, his truly outstanding leadership and what he has done for New York State. And everyone should know that, you know, behind the scenes, there is so much work that needs to get done that's really all-consuming, and so much has been done by ESD. And so I appreciate everything that everyone has done, you know, at this, you know, in this agency. You know, clearly, you know, New York has made significant strides since the early days of COVID-19, and every day the indicators statewide continue to show positive trends. Of course, none of us, myself included, want to dismiss the tragedies that we have experienced. Every loss of life has been tragic. The impact on the economy has been has been hard for many. So none of us want to lose sight of that. But as a state, when you think about and see what other states are now experiencing and the increased cases of COVID-19 that those states are experiencing, I think that goes to substantiate the strategy that New York State has had, which has been really opening based on data and metrics and being responsible and safe in terms of how we phase in each of the regions. And that really is another example of the outstanding leadership that the governor has provided for us. So in that respect, we've had a number of phases that have, regions that have opened. Yesterday, Long Island entered phase 3. On Monday, New York City entered phase 2. And it was announced that there are a number of regions upstate, Central New York, Finger Lakes, the Mohawk Valley, North Country, and the Southern Tier, which are on track right now to enter phase 4 of the reopening on Friday. And I think that everybody saw, which we announced, there's been guidance for phase 4 activities, such as low-risk indoor and outdoor arts and entertainment, film and TV production, which is obviously an important part of what we do as an agency under Rhoda, and I know Rhoda's been very busy in that respect, and also guidance with respect to higher education and professional sports without fans. Also, the governor announced that social gatherings up to 50 people will now be allowed, and indoor religious gatherings will be allowed up to 33%, which is up from 25%. And all of this is movement towards opening up the economy. Obviously, an important role that we at ESD play, but that is not for us to lose sight that we need to continue to be vigilant, continue to ensure that the necessary guidelines, precautions are kept in place so that we can prevent any increase in the virus's spread. As an agency, we've always been tasked with working on major infrastructure projects. Those are now have taken on even greater importance from the standpoint that many of our larger infrastructure projects, certainly in the New York City and Long Island area, can be key projects to show that New York State continues to seek to reemerge from the economic issues that we're facing. And so as an agency, we're continuing to work as aggressively as we can in terms of moving forward with Moynihan Station, Belmont, Javits, and planning for the Empire Station Complex project as well. So on an internal and important matter, I apologize. On an internal and important matter, my remarks to the agency on diversity, and I want to let the agency know we're going to follow this up with an agency-wide call. We are finding ways to ensure that ESD instills a greater sense of community, enhance the diversity that exists within our agency. We addressed this on the last agency-wide call, and now on the next call we will start to discuss about concrete steps that we'll be taking to ensure that we continue to do as much as we can to support the diversity that we need and should have within the agency. And we'll talk about, I will talk more about this at the next board meeting. I also want to acknowledge a number of exciting developments that have happened since the last board meeting. First I want to acknowledge the terrific work of our finance team led by Elaine Kloss. So in this climate, earlier this month, she and her team were able to successfully price 2 bond deals for our PIT bonds and the American Airlines JFK Airport project. And I might add, on the same day. So very impressive, and again, doing so in a challenging, turbulent market, both pricings very successful. Just goes to show you the type of effort and focus that she and her group had. So well done, very much appreciated. And then at our last meeting on May 29th, we approved the New York Forward Loan Fund, which is providing working capital to help small businesses with a particular focus on MWBEs. And these are businesses that did not receive any of the federal COVID-19 assistance. And that $100 million fund is turning out to be in high demand as businesses need that capital. And we as an agency are continuing to look for different ways that we can support the importance of that small businesses play in our economy. Pravina has been doing an outstanding job, and her team an outstanding job in putting together the fund, and also in terms of being very creative and innovative in all the different ways that we can support small business, which are in many ways a backbone, a key backbone, a key part of our economy, and that will be another area where I will look forward to be updating this board in future meetings. So all of this to say that as an agency we worked extremely hard in supporting the governor and essential workers on the front line through the first 90 days of this crisis, and since we have now been focusing on those parts of the economy which is really part of the mission of this agency in helping to revive our state economy. I could not be prouder of all the work this agency has done, and to all the staff members, I just want to thank you for everything that you've done, and equally important, thank you in advance for all the additional work we will have to do to continue to drive the New York State economy. And I also want to thank my fellow board members for their continued hard work and commitment to this agency. And with that, I say thank you, and I turn it back to our chairman, Howard Zemsky. Thank you, Howard.
Okay, thanks, Eric. Thanks for your thoughts and for your comments, and for leading the agency with so many vital initiatives, which is much appreciated and being done so well. So thank you for that. Before we proceed with our projects, I'll ask Glendon McCleary to present a summary of those projects. Glenn?
Thank you, Howard. Good morning, and good morning, directors. The directors will be requested to consider 14 projects totaling $35,350,695 in grants. The project include 1 Buffalo Billion Award, 11 Regional Council Awards, and 3 discretionary awards. The project will take place in the Western New York, Finger Lakes, Central New York, Mohawk Valley, Long Island, Mid-Hudson, Capital, and Southern Tier regions, leverage over $90 million of additional investment, retain 786 jobs, and create 394 jobs in the state. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Glenn. Much appreciated. We'll kick off the regional presentations with Amanda Mays with 2 projects in Western New York. Amanda?
Good morning, Howard. Good morning, directors. The directors are requested to approve a grant of $500,000 from the Buffalo Regional Innovation Cluster, Buffalo Billion 2, to Preservation Buffalo Niagara to administer a portion of the Eastside Commercial Building Stabilization Fund, a program announced in March 2018 as part of Governor Cuomo's $50 million Eastside Corridor Economic Development Fund. As the city of Buffalo has experienced a resurgence, the East Side has lagged behind the rest of the city in new development and capital investment. This program is designed to provide funding to preserve at-risk historic commercial buildings on the East Side for future redevelopment opportunities. Funding will help prevent having to deal with crisis-level failures in the structures in the future, or even worse, the need for additional emergency demolitions and more holes to the existing urban fabric along these corridors. It will ensure that buildings with code violations or structural deficiencies which prevent them from being currently used will be kept viable, so as the market provides opportunities for reuse of this commercial stock, The resources will have been kept intact and be ready for redevelopment. Buildings will receive up to $50,000 to support smaller seal-up efforts such as roof patching, masonry repair, interim structural buttressing, and/or mothballing precautions, eliminating risks that pose a threat to safety of the building and neighboring structures. Buildings will be solicited to apply for funding by Preservation Buffalo Niagara and the City of Buffalo. Preservation Buffalo Niagara will be responsible for all aspects of grant administration and will work with property owners to develop scopes of work for each project, provide construction oversight, and process payment to contractors for the stabilization work. This program promotes smart growth and provides opportunities to residents on the east side for developing their properties, allowing them to have a hand in the redevelopment of their neighborhoods. Our second project is for 4 Mile Brewing. The directors are requested to approve a capital grant of $411,250 from the Downtown Revitalization Initiative Round 2 to 4 Mile Brewing LLC for a portion of renovation and construction costs associated with the $822,500 project at the former Olean Brewery, now known as 4 Mile Brewing. The project was awarded funding through Round 2 of the Downtown Revitalization Initiative, which awarded $10 million in funding to the City of Olean in Cattaraugus County, in 2018. The 2 historic buildings that are part of this project were reactivated in 2015 as a startup brewery, which since then has grown its annual production capacity from 850 barrels to nearly 2,500 barrels and has caused the brewery to need to expand its production space. In addition, the DRI project allowed it to increase the size of its tasting room and beer garden, create a canning line, and make upgrades throughout the facility. The new production space and equipment will lead to additional increases in production, as well as the hiring of new full-time and part-time staff. The project returns 2 historic buildings to use in downtown Olean, adding to the walkable urban fabric and creating amenities for residents and visitors. Renovation work is nearing completion, so it is being presented to the board so ESD can provide reimbursement of these grant funds.
Okay, thanks, Amanda. Are there any questions or comments from directors regarding either of these items in Buffalo or Olean for Amanda? We don't have any comments from the public. I'll now entertain a motion to approve both items.
Move.
Thanks, Hilda. Thank you. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Amanda. The motion carries. Next, we have 2 projects from our Finger Lakes region, which will be presented by Vinny Esposito. Vinny, take it away.
Good morning, Howard, Eric, and directors. Hey. Hope everyone's well. Our first project today is a $2 million capital grant from the Regional Council Capital Fund Round 8 for Sam Sen LLC, which is a company formed by Sessler to renovate the marina and operate the marina at Sampson State Park on Seneca Lake. This project has already made significant improvements that have already seen increase in slip usage at the marina. It has qualified for the first disbursement. The total project will be completed in May 2021, and the project is a $10.3 million project that is roughly a 50-50 split of private funding from Sampson and also other grant funding from the New York State Parks Department and New York State Canal Corporation. The second project is also a $2 million grant for IEC Electronics. This is from the Upstate Revitalization Initiative to support the construction and leasing of a new 150,000 square foot facility in Newark, Wayne County, which serves as IEC's headquarters and will allow them to create an additional 292 jobs in addition to the 463 that are existing in Newark, making this one of the largest projects in Wayne County in recent memory. The project is nearing completion and will be done by the end of June 2020. It is a total $10 million project with $2 million of capital funding from us and another $3.3 million in Excelsior funding tied to the job creation, of which 240 positions, new positions, have already been created. Be happy to take questions on either project.
Okay, thanks, Vinny. Any questions or comments for Vinny on either of these 2 items? We have no comments from the public on these. Is there a motion to approve both items?
Move.
Thanks, Hilda. Second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Thanks, Vinny. We have a project from Central New York, which will be presented by Jim Thale. Jim?
Good morning. Today, the directors are being asked to approve a $450,000 grant on a $6.5 million total project to construct and equip a 6,500 square foot warehouse and to renovate the existing facilities for immediate mailing services that provide print and mailing services throughout the state of New York and Northeast. This was a round 8 priority project for the regional council. They will also be receiving a $100,000 Excelsior tax credit. This project was to create 11 jobs, and they have exceeded that, and actually have already created 27 jobs. This project will be completed by September of this year, and they have reached their first milestone, which is why it's at the board today. And I'd be glad to take any questions.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Any questions for Jim on this item in Liverpool, Central New York? No comments from the public. Is there a motion to approve this item?
Move.
Thanks,
I second.
Hilda. Thank you, Cesar. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Jim. We have two
Thank
projects from the Mohawk Valley, which will be presented by Mike Reese. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Howard. Good morning, Eric and Board of Directors. The directors are being asked to approve a capital grant of up to $22 million from the Upstate Revitalization Initiative Fund to Oneida County on behalf of the Upper Mohawk Valley Auditorium Authority to be used for a portion of the cost of construction of a 169,440 square foot sports and recreation facility called the Nexus Center. Oneida County and the Upper Mohawk Valley Auditorium Authority will create a state-of-the-art facility featuring the best sporting amenities and platforms. The Nexus Center will feature 3 playing surfaces of 200 by 85 square feet to be used for ice hockey, box lacrosse, soccer, and other field sports, as well as creating locker rooms, college classroom space, retail space, and food and beverage services. The Nexus Center projects over 300,000 annual visitors coming to the Utica area when hosting out-of-town tournaments, as well as catering to local athletes during the week for practices and games. Total project cost is estimated to be $50,620,000. The project was started in January of 2020 and is currently under construction. The grantee is eligible to receive progress payments no more frequently than quarterly, and the first quarterly reimbursement has been requested. The project is consistent with the Mohawk Valley REDC's strategy to develop tourism destination projects that grow external revenue and wealth transfer to the region. My second project, asking the directors to approve a grant of up to $400,000 from the Regional Council Fund, Round 7, to the Masonic Medical Research Institute to be used for a portion of the cost to purchase and install new equipment for the laboratory. Masonic Medical Research Institute is a nonprofit organization founded in 1958 located in Utica, New York. Its primary mission to conduct high-quality basic and clinical research aimed at generating knowledge and information necessary for the development of medical cures and treatments. The Institute is internationally recognized for its discoveries in cardiac arrhythmias and other scientific breakthroughs that are at the forefront of new heart medications and diagnostic procedures. The Masonic Institute needed to modernize the lab to allow for workforce growth and to transition from a traditional research-focused laboratory to an applied research and translational medicine-focused laboratory. The organization purchased new scientific equipment, including cage washers, fume hoods, water purification systems, freezers, biological safety cabinets, and incubators. Total budget for this project is $2.2 million. The project was completed in June 2018. The project is consistent with the REDC strategy to prioritize projects that spark transformation in the life sciences industry. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Directors, 2 projects in Utica. Any questions or comments for Mike? We don't have any comments from the public on these. Is there a motion to approve both items?
Move.
Thank you.
I will second.
Thank you, Cesar, Hilda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thanks, Mike. The motion carries. Kara Longworth will now present an item from Long Island. Kara, take it away.
Good morning, Howard. Good morning, directors. The directors are being asked this morning to approve 2 regional council capital grants totaling $1,050,000 to One Mill Road apartment investors to pay for a portion of the critical infrastructure necessary for a large mixed-use transit-oriented development project known as the Ronkonkoma Hub in Ronkonkoma, Suffolk County. This project was a round 2 priority project for the Long Island Regional Council. They found that the infrastructure was necessary for the overall development project, which supports the regional strategies of placemaking and encouraging development near transit, as well as encouraging the development of diverse housing stock on Long Island, particularly rental apartments. The Ronkonkoma Hub is a transformative project that is developing 53 acres of blighted property that's adjacent to the Ronkonkoma Railroad Station and near the MacArthur Airport, thus making this the perfect location for a transit-oriented development. The Long Island Railroad Station is one of the busiest on Long Island, and the state recently invested in building the second track from Farmingdale to Ronkonkoma, thus creating an even larger ridership for the railroad. We'll build out this development will have almost 1,500 housing units and 600,000 square feet of commercial, retail, and hospitality. The first phase of the development broke ground in 2017 and is now complete with nearly 500 housing units, with over 200 are already occupied. These grants will help pay for a portion of the water and sewer infrastructure that will connect the entire project to the Suffolk County sewer system, and the project would not have been possible without this infrastructure. The infrastructure project is complete for a total project cost of $5,213,000.
Okay, thank you, Kara. Any questions or comments for Kara on this significant project in Ronkonkoma? We don't have any comments from the public. Is there a motion to approve this item?
Move it.
Thanks,
I
Sylvia. Second. Thanks, Cesar. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you very much, Kara. James Kostenblatt will present 3 items from the Mid-Hudson region. James?
Thank you. Good morning. Our first project is City Winery Hudson Valley. The directors are requested to approve an $832,000 regional council capital grant from round 8 for City Winery Hudson Valley's capital project in the village of Montgomery in Orange County. City Winery will invest $9,727,302 in this 46,000 square foot facility, creating 30 net new jobs. Construction has completed, and they have met the criteria for their first disbursement. The project adaptively reuses an abandoned former factory that was constructed over 100 years ago on the banks of the Wallkill River. The City Winery Hudson Valley project consists of a production winery, restaurant, and event space. The company is currently in 6 cities in the U.S., and the Hudson Valley location will actually be the first one located outside of a major city. City Winery is using this facility to centralize their wine production and began producing wine at this location in February of this year, expecting to eventually produce 26,000 gallons of wine per year. This was a priority project for the Mid-Hudson Regional Economic Development Council as it aligns with the council's live, work, and play strategies. Our next project is the Research Institute for Brain and Body Health. The directors are requested to approve a $1 million regional council capital grant from round 8 for the Center for Discovery's Research Institute for Brain and Body Health, which is in the town of Thompson in Sullivan County. The Center for Discovery will invest $4,760,000 for construction and renovation to adaptively reuse a 50,000 square foot space in the former Frontier Insurance Company headquarters, which will be dedicated to this institute. The state-of-the-art research institute will have 6 laboratories to allow for pioneering studies in autism spectrum disorders, medical frailties, Alzheimer's and dementia, and other chronic complex conditions. To date, the project is on track to be completed in September 2020, and the project aligns with the Mid-Hudson Regional Economic Development Council's live and work strategies and was designated a priority project in round 8. Finally, our third project is North Street Brickworks. The directors are requested to approve an $832,445 Regional Council capital grant from Round 7 for North Street Brickworks Hutton Brickyards redevelopment project, which is in the city of Kingston in Ulster County. The company will invest $4,718,370 in this first phase of a multi-phase project that will transform a former industrial site of the Hutton Brickworks Company into a vibrant, event-centered hospitality venue that will bring tourism, jobs, and new revenue to the city of Kingston. The project will adaptively reuse the site to create an experiential entertainment and music destination. Phase 1 includes the redevelopment of several existing buildings for a ticket concierge office, construction of a permanent stage, new lighting and signage, sanitary facilities, back-of-house facilities, and expansion of on-site parking. The project was completed in January of this year, and they have qualified for their first disbursement. I should also note the project aligns with the Mid-Hudson Regional Economic Development Council's Live and Play strategies and was designated a priority project by the council in Round 7. The project also complements citywide efforts to revitalize the city of Kingston by rejuvenating a key portion of the city's waterfront. Thank you all so much for your time. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about these projects.
Okay, James, thank you very much. We have 3 projects presented from the Mid-Hudson. Are there any comments from directors on either of these 3 items? Okay, we have no comments from the public on these. Is there a motion to approve all 3 of these Mid-Hudson items?
Move.
Thanks,
I will
Hilda. There's Cesar. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thanks, James. These all carry. Mike Yeverly will now present a project from the Capital Region. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Howard. Good morning, everyone. I will be requesting the directors approve a grant of up to $3 million to be used for a portion of the cost of construction and renovation to buildings and grounds at the East Greenbush Biotechnology Campus, owned by the University at Albany Bioscience Development Corporation. The total project cost is $15 million. The Capital Region Economic Development Council recommended the project for funding during Round 6 of the Regional Council Initiative. The project directly supports the CREDC's Next Tech strategy to support emerging biotechnology and pharmaceutical research, development, and commercialization. The project is also consistent with the Capital Region Economic Development Council's plan to advance research and commercialization in our key sectors, including life sciences. The East Campus has always been viewed as a key asset in advancing this regional strategy. The University at Albany Bioscience Technology Corporation is a not-for-profit organization. It's the grantee and owner of the property. The mission of UABDC is to create a commercial life science research and technology cluster in an environment in which new innovative businesses can develop and research can be translated into commercially viable technology. UABDC leases laboratory and research space to a host of partners to facilitate this mission. Buildings on site include a biotechnology building, a cancer research center, the education center, the isolator solutions building, and the main laboratory building complex, and a number of other outbuildings, totaling over 500,000 square feet of space. Work done to date includes energy efficiency updates and construction of new tenant suites in the Cancer Research Center, renovation of labs and offices, the main laboratory building, demolition and hazmat abatement to a portion of the complex central power plant, and reconstruction and expansion of various infrastructure upgrades like parking lots and other building improvements that were necessary. To date, $5 million has been expended. The total project is anticipated to be completed in December 2022, so this is an installment. So they've achieved their threshold to receive their first installment payment, and which is why we're presenting it here today. Just some notable tendencies that have occurred since they've been working with us and with the grant include Taconic Biosciences. They've expanded from a small footprint in a cancer research building to add more laboratories and create the corporate headquarters. Additionally, they've also expanded the main laboratory building to accommodate sales, marketing, and customer services. Regeneron Pharmaceuticals has also exercised another 3-year option for the main laboratory building, which includes over 20,000 square feet of space. The research and development space there has operated a 7-day per week schedule during the COVID-19 pandemic response. And there's a number of other companies that they are currently working with to expand within the facility. Take any questions?
Okay, thanks, Mike. Are there any questions or comments from directors regarding this item? We don't have any comments from the public. Is there a motion to approve?
Move.
Thanks.
I
Silva,
second.
second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mike. Donna Howell's up next and will present an item from the Southern Tier. Donna?
Good morning, Howard. Good morning,
Hey.
directors. I'm requesting approval for a grant for $475,000 to Airflow Manufacturing for a portion of the cost of construction, as well as renovations and purchase of machinery and equipment. This project includes the purchase of a 310,000 square foot facility that was formerly a Belden facility in Horseheads to install new production lines and also consolidate its truck and body accessory manufacturing operations. They make the accessories for trucks, so think like the body of a snowplow or the hoist for a dump truck. And it also includes build out of their existing facility in Elmira. So the project will retain 200 existing jobs as well as create 40 net new jobs over a 3-year period. It is consistent with the Southern Tier REDC's plan to invest in advanced manufacturing, as well as ESD's strategy of tradable sectors. The project will be complete in January 2021, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Okay, thank you, Donna. Any questions for Donna on this item? No comments from the public. Is there a motion to approve?
Move.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Okay, thanks, Donna. Next up on the agenda, we have Market New York Grant Program, which will be presented by Kelly Baccarizzo. Kelly, take it away.
Thank you, Howard. Good morning to you and to the directors. Market New York has one capital project awarded in round 6 of the REDCs that will be presented for the board's approval this month. A capital grant of $400,000 was awarded to Historic Hudson Valley. This not-for-profit educational organization located in the Mid-Hudson region used the Market New York grant funds to repair the wooden elements of the Phillipsburg Manor's Wharf and the pedestrian bridge. The pedestrian bridge provides the primary access from the visitor center across the river to the heart of the historic site. The completed project at Phillipsburg Manor has improved infrastructure, which will allow Historic Hudson Valley to ensure visitor safety and will enable the organization to develop new programs, special events, and accommodate increased attendance once this business is able to open under Phase 4 of the Forward NY plan. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Kelly on this item? We don't have any comments from the public. Is there a motion to approve?
Move.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Thanks, Kelly. The motion carries. We have the non-discretionary consent calendar, which will be presented by Simone Bethune. Simone, take it away.
Thank you. This is Simone. Good morning to the directors and to everyone. The first item is the Senate-sponsored $300,000 working capital grant to the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce on behalf of its economic development partner, Brooklyn Alliance, Inc. Each year, the Alliance serves over 10,000 businesses and individuals in Brooklyn through a targeted portfolio of programs that includes business development and assistance, workforce development, healthcare, advocacy, and tourism. To help address the needs of communities and small businesses, the Brooklyn Chamber used ESD funds for its Neighborhood Entrepreneurship Project to provide comprehensive technical assistance and support services to commercial corridors. Under this program, the Brooklyn Chamber engaged in merchant organizing, placemaking, and business attraction and retention activities in the neighborhoods across the borough. Funding was applied to these programs between 2019 and March 2020. The second item is a $1 million Senate-sponsored grant to the Center for Discovery, Inc., a statewide center of excellence providing residential health and educational services for over 1,200 children and adults with significant disabilities and their families. Funds will be used for a portion of the soft costs associated with the design phase of the Children's Specialty Hospital at Rock Hill, Sullivan County. The facility will provide specialized short-term hospital care for children with significant physical disabilities and complex autism, in addition to support and training for their families, caregivers, and school districts. To date, the Center for Discovery has an approved site plan and has completed design and construction documents, and construction is expected to begin in September 2020. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Thanks so much, Simone. Any questions or comments for Simone, please?
I do have a question for this one.
Hilda?
Is OPWDD contributing anything to this project?
I'm sorry?
Is OPWDD contributing anything to this project? The office for people with developmental disabilities.
Oh, not that I'm aware of. I think that we are funding, the entire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other questions for Simone on this item or comments? We have no comments from the public. Is there a motion to approve this item?
Well,
Second.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Next up, Pravina will present an item related to our Entrepreneurship Assistance Centers. Pravina, take it away.
Thank you. Good morning, directors. We are seeking approval for 21 of our Entrepreneurship Assistance Centers to receive technical assistance grants for $1,676,514. Please note we have 24 centers in total. The remaining 3 centers will be presented to this board in August, as we have 2 centers in the Bronx and 1 in East Harlem that are currently going for request for proposal for those service areas. The other 21 centers, as you know, this is a 30-year history, over 30 years that this program has been providing one-on-one counseling and, more importantly, a 60-hour training class for entrepreneurs to learn how to realize their dreams of becoming entrepreneurs, and then helping them through the next years of their company's lives to both increase sales as well as increase footprint and marketing. The services that they provide have become especially important during this COVID-19 stay-at-home and New York pause orders. The main objective of the centers this year will be to help businesses recover and thrive after COVID-19 by implementing new business models and connecting them to available resources such as the New York Forward Loan Fund, but also other grant opportunities as well as government contracting opportunities. The centers are traditionally in low and moderate income areas, helping entrepreneurs from single parents all the way to high school graduates to brand new entrepreneurs with technical training as well. We are seeking the $1.67 million for this project, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Pravina. Questions or comments from directors on the Entrepreneurship Assistance Center funding? We don't have any comments from the public. Is there a motion to approve this item?
I move it.
Second.
Thank you. Second, thank you, Eric. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Thank you, Pravina. Now I'd like to turn things over to Kevin Eunice, who will provide a summary of the administrative actions on today's agenda. Kevin.
Hey, folks. Good morning. The first item is going to be presented by our colleague Ed Hamilton. It's the lease for the Puerto Rico office, and I'll present the second one. Ed? Sure.
Good morning to Howard and the directors.
Good morning.
The Directors are being asked to authorize ESD to continue a lease for ESD's Office of Trade and Tourism in Puerto Rico. There are specific details in the board material, but I just wanted to highlight and remind all on the phone that the Puerto Rico office is very involved with business and trade development between New York State and Puerto Rico. They manage the I Love New York tourism shop that promotes travel from Puerto Rico to New York State. And in the last few years, they've also helped coordinate several on-the-ground assistance from New York State aid to Puerto Rico for hurricanes and natural disasters. Going back to the lease, the current location is in Old San Juan, where we've been since 2015. This request will extend the lease to April 2022, which would be a 2-year extension. From the material, you'll see that the rent is approximately $5,523 per month. That does reflect an increase, but it does include all of our utilities and incidentals such as cable, so that ESD doesn't have to contract separately for those services. ESD did survey several other locations in Old San Juan, but really our location we feel is a preferred one, and moving really was not a cost-effective option for us. I also want to mention that the lease also does include annually a $6,000 modification and project fund that will allow us and the landlord, if issues do come up, because we have been there now for 5 years, for mutually agreed projects and updates to the property. With that, I will also mention that if there's any questions, I do have Betty Enriquez, who's the director of the Puerto Rico office, on the phone, and either one of us can take any questions.
I don't have questions, but I have many comments. I mean, the facility in San Juan, it's beautiful. It's the perfect place to have it. But in addition to that, I want to add, the work that Betty does. Every time there is someone, I show up, and they don't know that I'm coming. And I tell you, the staff there are working, and are working hard. The other thing I was going to say is that I have been working on connecting that office to the Wegman stores. So there is some, export and import, whatever, for Puerto Rico and New York. So I give kudos to the governor for opening that office there. And I'm happy to say I moved the motion.
Thank you.
I am pleased to second the motion as a son of Puerto Rico.
That's right.
Okay, excellent. Kevin, did you have any other items?
Yeah, there's another item, which is the approval.
Can we vote as a group?
Yeah, we're going to vote. Let Kevin go through a second item, and then we will vote on both of the administrative items, if that's okay.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
So the second item is for seeking approval for a contract for marketing and promotion services of the New York State apple industry through the New York State Apple Association. The contract totals $2.1 million and is funded by assessments collected from state apple growers that are to be used to promote New York apples. And that's it.
Okay. Any questions for Kevin, for Ed, for Betty, or other comments on either of these two items? We have no questions or comments from the directors on these items. Is there a motion to approve both of these items?
Move. I thought I had
Second.
something.
Okay, thank you. Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Okay. Betty, thank you for your great work in Puerto Rico, and directors, thank you for noting that and
Thank
for your comments. We don't have any further business. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Move.
Okay.
Seconded.
Thank you, everyone. Team ESD, thank you for your great work. Thank you, Eric, for your great leadership.
Thank you for your leadership.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Bye. Yeah, bye.